So in conclusion, the only reason you should be an expert is you have an overwhelming passion for a particular subject, and you want to make it come alive for as many people as possible and help as many people as possible. If you don't have that, there are going to be a lot easier ways of making money. Just go work at a big law firm. For that matter, work at McDonald's. There are plenty of people who work at McDonald's who make more money than people who call themselves professional experts, professional speakers, but are in a niche that they don't really care about. You've got to care about your niche. You've got to define your niche. You've got to make sure it's something that you're good at, that you care about, where you have expertise, where there's a public marketplace for it, and ideally where there is a corporation and lots of corporations that pay for that expertise. That's going to make it a lot easier for your expertise business to flourish. You've got to be creating content on a constant basis, writing every day, creating YouTube videos every day, perhaps creating your own course right here on this platform as well. You've got to constantly be helping people, synthesizing other data out there, creating your new insights as well, blending those two together so that people rely on you. So that when people think of that particular subject, their first thought is, what does this person think? And they're writing you, emailing, posting on your blog. You've got to create content. And you've got to use that content to really connect with a tribe of people. Don't try to get the 10 million Twitter followers. Don't worry about the 20,000 threshold of Facebook likes. Instead, focus one at a time on people who actually care about you, care about your insights, care about your subject matter, and care so passionately they can tell other people, whether they are a decision maker, a CEO of a company, or a head of a training or sales or marketing department, isn't necessarily the most important thing. The thing is they care about you, value your judgment, and are constantly telling other people. They are forwarding your blog post, they're forwarding your tweet, they're retweeting your tweet, they are liking your videos and sending it to friends. You need to find your tribe in order for your message to grow, for your reputation to grow. And you've got to figure out right away, how do you want to sell your expertise and how do you want to give it away? I give away my expertise to more than 1,000 people every single day, at least 1,500 people a day. That's how many people watch my YouTube videos. But ever since I've done that, my revenues have gone up from traditional trainings and traditional consulting projects. So again, the more you give away of your content, the more you'll ultimately get in your own bottom line if you charge the right way and if you figure out what's the main way of charging and how do you charge the most. Now, it's always tricky for people who are used to a regular job, and you really look at it, your paycheck, and you're thinking, well, I'm really making $40 an hour when I average up the 2,000 hours and everything. So, wow, if I charge $80 an hour, that's doubling. You can't look at it that way. You've really got to look at the value you create for people. And by the way, if you want a great advice on how to charge fees, you need to read Alan Weiss's book on $1 Million Consulting and value-based selling. It will really help you figure out how to charge, because it's a completely different mindset from when you were an employee or an hourly worker or a freelancer. Experts are not freelancers. Legally, technically, we may be, but a freelancer is somebody you pay $40 an hour to. An expert is someone you may pay $5 or $8 or $10 or $20,000 to for a solution. That's the big difference. So you've got to be aggressive and learn a new mindset on how to charge, because you're not ever really charging somebody for an hour of your time, because nothing you do as an expert takes an hour of your time. Somebody calls you, you got to talk to them. You got to send them a proposal. You got to send them a contract. You got to do the work. You got to invoice them. It's hard to do that without spending 5 hours. And that's if you didn't even have to travel to them. If you travel to them for an hour in the same city, depending on traffic, it's 4 hours of your time. If you're traveling to another city for that 1 hour assignment, you're really talking about 2 full days of your time. So the whole mentality of charging has to be completely different. So that's one of your homework assignments. Read Alan Weiss's book on value-based selling, and then figure out exactly how you want to charge so that there's no doubt in your voice. If you hold yourself out as an expert and someone says, that sounds great, I'd like to hire you, how much for a day? And you say, 900? You're toast. They'll never hire you, and you won't get $900. However, if you say $5,000 is the initial investment, you're more likely to get that. And you don't have to use the whole investment charge versus fee. I'm not a big stickler on that. But you have to say whatever it is you charge with complete confidence and with authority. By the way, I don't actually tell people what I charge in a phone conversation, initial phone conversation. I always tell them, within 1 hour of our conversation here, I will send you a full proposal that will have all the options and all the prices, and I will send you a detailed video proposal, which is another way of sharing your expertise. It's doing exactly what I'm doing right now. So keep that in mind when selling your expertise. Just because someone says my budget is X, or tell me over the phone right now, doesn't mean you have to do it. Part of your pricing power is always the ability to walk away and say no. Once someone senses that you will take anything, you're going to be working for minimum wage. So keep that in mind. Find your niche, make sure it's a good niche, create a lot of good content, find a tribe, and then charge accordingly. And if you want to be a professional expert, you really should not do anything for less than $2,000 a day, just starting out of the gate. And you want to get to the point where you're charging $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 a day or more. And at that point, you've got the resources to build your expertise, and you'll have the credibility with the audience. Thanks so much, and good luck with your career as an expert. I'm TJ Walker. Thanks for joining me.